Hello, my love. Today we are going to talk about two things you're not supposed to be doing after you get divorced. This is a warning video. So let's get into it. This is gonna be a not super long talk, but I'm gonna talk about two super important things that I want to make sure that you don't do, senora. Okay? So, thing number one, you do not want to jump into another serious relationship too soon. This might be super obvious to some of you, and to some of you, you know you're not supposed to, but you still do it. So we're gonna talk today about why you do it. Okay? What actually happens? There's a strong temptation to get into another relationship because after what you have been through, not only the disappointment of the relationship that has ended, right? Like the years before the divorce happened, how disconnected you felt from your ex husband, how unseen you have felt, how difficult the road of the relationship itself has been before the divorce. Like the years when you felt like you were not loved, you kept on giving and you were not loved back. And then the divorce itself, right? And here we go, you went through so much and now there is this reality where you could be with someone else. It's tempting. It's tempting because there could be someone that would see you for who you are, someone that would help you in the struggles you're going through, someone that would help you feel a woman again, right? And that's why it's so tempting, because there's like part of our soul that's starving for that. Now, let me tell you why this is so common that people jump into next relationship. And that obviously happens with men and women. It happens. But let's talk about why this happens. Here's why it's common. You know how I was telling you, maybe you don't. Maybe this is the very first video that you're listening. But I talk about, in other videos, I talk about sense of safety, how important it is to build a sense of safety. That's one of the reasons. Because for those of you that have had a dynamic where your ex-husband was your safety in this reality, in the old reality, and now he's gone, it's like, okay, who am I? What am I to do without him? Like I cannot, this is deep subconscious level stuff, okay? So you might not be aware of it, but if you have a tendency to get into one relationship and then the next one and the next one and the next one, you might have this going on for you where on a deep subconscious level, you see men as your safety, as your, like, a man is necessary for me to feel safe. I must have someone next to me. Being alone is not safe. I'm simplifying this. It could be that you don't have these thoughts, you never thought these thoughts to yourself, but I want you to think about your patterns. Do you, when looking back at the past before your marriage, have you been in relationships? And it maybe wasn't even that there was a lot of relationships. It's not about that. It's just like, how many times have you been single, like nobody next to you? What were you doing during the time when you were single? Were you looking for another partner, maybe? Or did you actually really take time just to be single? And how long was that? Did you take your time to get to know yourself? Did you take your time to establish safety within yourself? For many of us, these concepts are like, what are you talking about, Evelina? Of course not, right? Okay. Well, if that's what's been going on for you, no judgment. We're not judging here. I'm just asking. Just know it could be that you will have a very strong desire to go into another relationship right after you get divorced, maybe right after you get separated. That is a need within you, deep subconscious need to be connected to another human being for safety reasons. Okay? Deep internal internal safety. Like, It's like you just don't feel safe in this world without another human being, therefore you must be with someone. Be careful, girlfriend. I'm telling you, be careful, because that's how your heart gets broken and somebody else's heart might get broken too. And feelings are sacred. Feelings are sacred. We must honor the hearts, our hearts and the hearts of people around us. Because what happens if we don't? When we have a lot of heartbreak, we close our hearts. The love doesn't flow freely. I'm gonna go with you just for a second into that scenario of when I want someone, right? I need to be with someone, I need to find someone. And so you go into the next relationship right after your marriage from a point of desperation. Again, you lose your sense of stability and safety in this world. You are desperate to get it back, right? This is for those of you who are anxiously attached, right? Anxiously attached people are the ones that need to have another human being to feel safe here. That's where their safety comes from. They need to be connected to someone else. And they tend to be deep into people pleasing. They don't have very strong sense of self-confidence or sense of self-worth, right? Because it's like I don't see the value of my energy, therefore I must have a partner that will see my value. See? But I also don't feel safe in this world unless I have someone else that kind of holds me here and helps me feel safe here. Oh, girlfriend. If that's you, it's hard. I know it's hard, because what you will end up doing is you will end up going from one person to the next. And what you're gonna meet out there in this world? What kind of a man is gonna come? The man that will use your lack of boundaries. The man that will be very happy to take advantage of you because you're easy to take advantage of, right? You don't have boundaries, you don't have self-worth, you're all about giving. Yeah, plenty of men like that out there that will take advantage of your kindness, that will not respect you. The more you give, that they're not gonna respect that. No, men respect boundaries. They don't respect women that give a lot. Okay? Okay. That's a subject for a different video, but it's true. So don't. Just promise yourself. This is a new reality. This is a different world. This is time to get to know yourself. This is time to fix the dynamics that have been placed in your life for survival purposes. You don't have to keep on repeating the same pattern, because you will repeat a pattern, you see? If you don't look at the past, you will repeat a pattern. If you jump too fast into a new relationship, you're gonna do the same thing that you have done in your last relationship. You're gonna attract the same kind of a human being. Different face, different age, maybe, who knows? But the pattern will repeat. We just know. This is a chance for you to elevate. This is a chance to reset, to get to know yourself really, really good, and to give yourself what you really want from here, consciously, as a conscious, mature human being, because this is available now. It might have not been available when you were 20 years old. You didn't have access to this knowledge. You didn't have me talking to you on YouTube and many other coaches and many other sources of information, right? But now you do. And now you can give it, like, if you're watching me, hello, you're here for a reason. This is your call to be good to yourself and to get to know yourself in this area, so that whomever comes next is a true blessing and you're blessing to them too. It's a different level of connection. I'm talking to you about going for a process of purification of your patterns. And that's not easy, right? It's not sexy and fun to look at your pain. No, it's not. It freaking hurts. Your heart hurts when you're going through it. But you've got everything it takes. You have all the tools it takes. I'm here to help you and walk with you through that process. You can ask me any questions you have in the comments. Ask me questions. That's why I'm here. And the reason why I do this work is because I know what the heartbreak feels like too well. I know it too well. And the worst thing that can happen as a result of that heartbreak is what I'm gonna talk to you about next, which is the second thing that I want you to avoid. So the number one thing we're avoiding is we are avoiding to jump into the next relationship because we don't want to repeat the same pattern. Okay? We don't want to go into the same BS story we just got out of. No, I don't do that. You don't want to do this to yourself, right? You can create your life from wisdom, from understanding, from deep self-awareness, deep self-compassion. That's what we're after. And the skills that you were learning in this process, you will take them with you into your next relationship. That's the beautiful thing about it. One of the reasons why that relationship has a chance to be something just so incredible and beautiful is because you walk into that relationship a different human being. You don't walk in hoping that, oh, you will save me and you will be my safe. By the way, who wants to have that responsibility on their shoulders, girls? Do you know a guy that's like cannot wait to you know, have you like jump on his back and like carry you till the end of your life on his back, be exhausted by the weight of your emotional responsibility, like, oh, please make me happy. Who wants that woman next to them? Nobody does. But the men who are unhealed, walking out there without deep connection to their own emotions and lack of understanding of what it takes to take care of somebody's heart, lack of ability to communicate, they're the ones that are gonna be like, oh yeah, you wanna give me everything you got from the start? Yeah, let's go. Let me love bomb you, let me connect to you, let me just give you these elaborate gifts, let me give you things that make you just wanna connect to me real quickly. Watch out for this. Oh my god, please watch out for that. But he's so wonderful. This is just like he's been waiting for me. And God has given, you know what? God gives you every single human on this planet. Every single guy is a gift. So it's not like, oh my gosh, him, I was waiting. Careful, don't do this to yourself. Don't be like, oh, we, God, he is the best. The reason why got divorced is because we were always supposed to be together with this one, right? Oh, and one more thing. If you suffered a lot in your marriage and now you have this opportunity for this incredible life with someone, careful, careful, careful. If they're painting a beautiful story or your brain takes on this, like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be amazing. I'm gonna have this and this and that and be a wife again and be a mother again. And careful, careful. Reality is 50-50. It's not that on the other side with this guy, it's gonna be just so. Of course, you get to know him, you fall in love, you have all this dopamine rushing through, you're excited. Yeah, it feels incredible when we fall in love, right? It feels incredible. We put rose-colored glasses on, but I want you to be mindful. What does your mind tells you when you meet that next person? Be careful that you don't make it mean something like, oh, my marriage was so bad. Now this incredible guy is just gonna make me feel so good, and this life is gonna be just so amazing. And it is to balance the bad from the bottom. Careful with that. Careful. Yes, there might be things that will be just 1,000 times better, and that's what we want, right? This is why we do this work. But one step at a time, right? We gotta be careful that we don't get too excited. Because this is why you jump into the next relationship. This is why they take advantage of you. This is why that happens, is because you tell yourself, oh my gosh, God gave him to me as a reward for all my suffering. He is just, it's gonna be amazing. Like, finally, I get to do this and this and this and that. It's just like so incredible. Careful, careful. This is how our hearts get broken. We jump with 2 feet too fast. We open our hearts too fast. This is a process. Dating is a process, right? So be careful that you don't make it mean something bigger than what it actually really is. Because some of us will fall into the sense of desperation. We're like desperate. Like, I must find someone new because I cannot be alone. I will not make it through alone. And it's a lie. That's another thing. That's a complete lie. It's paradox. On one hand, we are alone. There's this teaching that it's just us and the creator is just us and God. That's it. Everything else is illusion. It's just between you and God. If that's true, these other people don't even exist. So in that sense, you are born and you die alone, right? It's just you and the creator, and you're creating as well all the experiences that you have. That's what I'm saying. It's like everybody is from God. All of the men that come into your life are from their gifts. So there's that. And then there's also the fact that you are surrounded by 8 billion people. And you also have that's my belief, you have your spirit guides, you have your angels, you have your ancestors, you have the support team. So you're not really alone. They're just waiting. They're like, okay, give me an assignment, right? They want to help us. And unless you ask, it cannot be given. That's another law of free will. We must ask to get that divine support. Okay, I digress. So I want for you to think about this time as an opportunity, okay? A crucial opportunity to really understand yourself and to really understand your past. Why did your marriage end? You want to understand that. What's your responsibility here? Why did that marriage end? What did you do? I know many of you will be like, well, my husband. Okay, yes, of course, this was a relationship. There's plenty. That was his responsibility, but what is yours? Because at the end of the day, we can only control us, right? You can only control yourself. I can only control me. That's why we've got to look at this. We got to look at ourselves, señorita. We want to know your patterns. What did you do in that marriage? What were the patterns of behavior that did not help? What were his patterns of behavior? That's good to see too. But you have to, again, you gotta look at yourself. Why do we want to see his patterns? Because that is someone you attracted. Do you want to have someone with the same patterns? Where are the patterns together? Where do they come together? Why do we want to know? Where do they come together? Because if you don't look at your patterns, you're gonna be patterning. It's not a word, I know. I just made it up. But you will fall into another pattern, exactly the same pattern, and the guy that will come to you will be in his pattern. You guys are gonna be playing the same movie all over again. And we don't want to do that because we know how that one ended, right? We don't want to do that. This is why you want to find out how did you contribute to the marriage dynamic, the good things you did and the bad things you did, senora. We are human beings. We're complex. The good and the bad, yeah? All of it is good to have. All of it is good to understand. That's why. Okay. And the most important thing in all of this that I'm talking about, no blaming yourself. We don't do that anymore. This is not about blaming. This is about gaining self-awareness, understanding, compassion. I did this and this and this. Why did I do that? Oh, because I was thinking that. I was feeling that. I was assuming that. No wonder I did that. Okay. Next time I will want to do something differently. You see? It's different versus like, well, you should have da 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 da. You should have been more patient. You should have been more understanding. You should have tried harder. Please. Please. That's not helpful. You definitely don't want to bring your old baggage into the new connection, right? It's gonna take work not to do that. If we don't want to repeat the pattern, we've got to look. We've got to look what's in the baggage, and we want to leave it right where it's at, in that marriage. Because it wouldn't be fair to you, it wouldn't be fair to the next person, right? Yeah. So you want to take your time, you want to heal, you want to learn, and just trust that the right relationship will still be there when you're ready. Divine timing. God is taking care of you. We can trust that. Relationships are a big deal because they change you from within, right? They change you. So we can trust that that will come from God. They're big, big deal. Life, death, relationship, soulmate kind of a connection. Big deal. These people that come into our lives, they don't come by accident. But at the same time, we don't want to make every single one of these guys like, oh, ooh, careful, you do not put him on a pedestal, senor. Okay, all right. So now let's talk about the second. And this one is a biggie. It's a subtle, but it's a big one. We do not want you to become the victim of your story. It is easy to fall into that victim. You function from the victim area, most likely in your marriage. So it's not like you're even slipping into it. It's like if I've already been existing as the wife of da 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 da. It's already been really, really hard. I've already been frustrated. I've already been angry. He's already done this and this and that to me, right? See? Like you've already had that going on. So if you just strengthen that area of your psyche, not good, not good. So what are the thoughts that will take us into the victim? Like when can you tell that the victim is talking? When you say things like, I lost da 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 da. My life is ruined because da 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 da. He did this da 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 da. These are all victim stories. There's absolutely time and place to acknowledge the hurt and the unfairness. I'm not saying that, right? No. Of course, we want to give that part of us a voice. I'm not saying like pretend like, no, right? It wasn't fair and you felt taken advantage of. That is all true. And that has its right to exist. I'm just saying, do not take that part of your story and do not make that your next base, your next reality. Don't do that to yourself. In other words, piece of paper, and we are talking. What wasn't fair? What did he do to me that I wish he never did? What hasn't he done to me? How was I suffering in that relationship? How was I suffering through the divorce? Ask yourself these questions and write the answers out. What did you hate about your marriage? What were you angry about? All of that can come out, and we want us to, but we're not gonna set up a camp in that story, okay? We're gonna say it, we're gonna acknowledge it, we're gonna love on her, we're gonna give her flowers and a crown, we're gonna say thank you for suffering for me, thank you for showing me what I absolutely don't want to experience again. Your thoughts are incredibly powerful. If you tell yourself that you are a victim of that whole story in your life, you're gonna start to believe it. You're gonna start to function from that angle. And that belief will really influence how your reality shapes, who comes into your life. You're gonna diminish your power. You're going to limit your choices. You're not gonna have courage to keep on moving forward. So just remember, you are not a victim of your story. You are an author of a new chapter. That's what we're doing here. We're writing a new chapter. And this is your chance to rewrite it. This is all about taking an ownership of your feelings and of your future. You get to decide what happens next. You get to decide whom you want to be. The woman who rises above and creates something beautiful out of adversity is so much more inspiring to people around her than someone who is stuck in her victim story. What's going to happen if you fall into your victim? People are not going to want to hang out with you. You're going to lose your friends. Nobody wants to talk to poor me, he did this and that. Nobody wants that. And I don't blame them. I don't like it either, and you don't like it either. Here's what you want to be careful with. That's when the victim really gets like sticky. She'll get like stuck in her head. If you're telling yourself, if you look at your life and you're like, gosh, I love these people so much. I love that human. I love my ex-husband so much. And he's taken advantage of me. I gave him, years of my life. I'm never gonna get that back. I will never trust another soul. Or here's a sentence. I've heard this recently. I am irreparably damaged. I am irreparably damaged. What? I'm not gonna swear on this channel. I promise myself I'm not gonna be swearing here, but trust me, I so want to. What's gonna happen to you if you keep on telling yourself that you are irreparably damaged? First of all, it's a lie. It's a lie. Of course, there's a part of you that believes it, that wants to hold on to the truth, but why? What for? What's the great thing about it? About believing that there is something so wrong with you that you cannot, that you don't have the power to address it, to heal it. How is that helpful in your life? But that's what extreme victim sounds like. So you be careful, you be careful. Do not do that to yourself. That's why we look at our thoughts. So we don't do this sort of thing. We do not do this, because as a result of it, you're gonna block your heart. You're gonna block other people. You're not gonna create that life where you feel like life is carrying you and supporting you. No, because you're gonna push people away. You're gonna feel disconnected, unsupported, unloved, taken advantage of. This is where it's a problem, okay? When you don't protect your heart because you don't have boundaries in place, that's how the story unfolds, right? When you are too loyal and you stay with someone, even though you're being taken advantage of, oh, because I'm married, I must stay till the end of my life. Like if I get married and I say the vows in front of God and in front of the family, I must stay in this marriage. No matter what's happening here, I must stay in this marriage. Listen, I understand, because that's what I've done. I get it, right? But sometimes we need to examine, what are we loyal to and why? That was my fault. Too blind. Like I wasn't examining my life. I wasn't like, hey, let's look at what's happening here. I wasn't doing that. See? I was married for 18 years. It's a long time, and we were in the same pattern for a very long time. Both of us were very unhappy, you know? So it could have been different if I saw my patterns much faster, but I was like, what? Never, ever did I think that I could get out of that marriage and get divorced. I never thought about that. Mm-mm. Divorce was not an option in my head. There was a part of me that really wanted to get out, but or like to shift something, change something about what was going on, but it was never an option. The problem is that like if we keep on giving and we don't have boundaries for ourselves, not for other people, for ourselves, if we don't have boundaries in how much we give, we will end up giving too much and we'll end up feeling like our love is not respected. Well, it's us who is, first of all, you are the one that's not respecting your love, okay? Because if you're not protecting your heart, it means that you're not respecting yourself. That's the number one thing that would fix this problem. What ends up happening is that you just give so much love, right? Then you feel like it's taken advantage of, and then you want to go the other way. You want to stop giving completely. But the consequence of stopping to give completely is that you yourself stop feeling the love. Because service to others, loving other people, is actually what nourishes our souls. That's what feeds us. So it's like when you're like, I'm just not gonna love anyone, I would rather be alone. My whole life has been completely wasted. I will never be able to trust again, right? And then we like start questioning the meaning of life. What is this really all about? Well, life is about love, but that's where the discernment comes in. That's where we examine, we sit back and we look at people's behavior. I know who I am. You show me who you are. Let me see. And then I will decide what is my energy gonna be towards you. But I'm not gonna give everything just because you exist. I'm gonna be watching. I'm gonna be mindful. I'm gonna be observing. I'm gonna be discerning. I will create rules for me. You can be who you are. Be yourself. Be more of yourself than you can be. I'm giving you all that freedom, but I'm also gonna be me. And I'm gonna be paying attention to what's happening here within me as a result of our interactions. And I will be adjusting my energy. I'm not gonna make you responsible for my energy. I am in charge of me. Yeah? What does it sound like, my friendskis? What does it sound like? It sounds like a queen. That's what queens do. We decide for us. We are open and giving and allowing for that energy of love to flow, but not everybody has access. But this is what I don't want you to do. Do not fall into the victimhood. Do not let those thoughts, whatever thoughts you have from that marriage that are connected to deep suffering, they have to be examined. If you have had trauma as a result of your marriage, if you had violence, if you had any deep emotional stress, please find yourself a good therapist and work with them through that. But be mindful that you do not take that story as your identity, that I am only and only damaged. Two things that we want to be really careful. We don't want to do. Number one, jump into the next relationship without examining the old one. And two, close yourself, do the very opposite. Close yourself completely from other people, from feeling love, fall into the story of poor me. We don't do that either. If you have any questions, girls, ask me. I'm here to be of help. I'm here to support you. Have a wonderful the rest of your day. I will talk to you next time. Bye-bye.